Okay, so I'm personally into a lot of environmental art, and I like to use Blender to create virtual scenes that I can explore with a camera. I can manipulate the objects within. I can render it in a certain way to either have a full 3D workflow, texture, lighting, whatnot, or I can just have uh, a very simple render that I will then use to matte paint over in two-dimensional art software like Krita, Photoshop, Clip Studio, whatnot. And yeah, hopefully I'm showing some of that on screen. One of the so I'm not like an expert in any regard, by the way, of course. But yeah, just kind of showing my process into how I've been learning to Kitbash. Kitbash is when you use, at least in the digital sense, it's based upon the Gundam people, I believe. Never got into that because I'm very poor. But in the digital sense, kitbashing is when you use pre-made digital assets, so 3D objects, scans, models that were created or textured or whatever by other people, usually sold, where you can just find them online in plethora on like Sketchfab, Turbo Squid, whatnot, whatever. Okay, so some of my favorites and like most affordable that I found, KC Sheep. They are a Taiwanese, I believe they're like a studio of people. KC Sheep is like the head of the studio. Anyway, they're the assets themselves. I love the modeling, though I'm not much of a fan of the textures. Not that they're bad. It's just I don't, when I am using 3D workflow, I'm not going for that type of NPR, non-physical based rendering is what that stands for. So like anime, arcane-esque type of looking stuff. I'm not really going for that. Um, what I do use them for is when I'm doing stuff with a compositor in Blender. Uh, anyway, so yeah, Casey Sheep, I got their stylized asset kitbash thing that you should be seeing on screen right now for I believe it's like 22 bucks on sale, but it's usually like 30 bucks. It's worth it, honestly. There's quite a bit that you get from that. Um, Andreas Durr. He is Cinematic Cookie, I believe, here on YouTube. He made the city generator. I bought that back when it was 50 bucks. Not on sale. I bought it because uh, uh, honestly, I had a bit of a gaming addiction. Yeah, just spending way too much playing Cyberpunk, and so I was like, okay, I need to force myself with a purchase to get into Blender, and I bought Andreas Durr's City Generator. That's again with the compositor. That's really fun. But if you're going for PBR, physical based rendering, so realistic type of stuff, like a Spider-Man game for the. It's not just for the PlayStation anymore, for the everything. Um, that is like an example of PBR rendering. Yeah, it's a great. Anyway, um, yeah, and I like to use Andreas Durr's city generator as a sort of basis because just like the when you can like toggle through the modifiers in the add-on to focus purely upon like the streets or just the buildings or the procedural traffic. So that's always helpful when you're trying to make an animation of some sort that's city wise. Anyway, um, asset packs, some really affordable ones, much more affordable. One of my like all-time favorite guys, uh, again, sorry if I mispronounce, Sime Burariha, should be on screen. He makes some very good cinematic. You've probably seen it, some of his work here on YouTube if you're into like spooky stuff. The oldest view. Look that up on YouTube. Great, like found footage type of video he made with Blender and like video tracking within Blender. Um, yeah, wonderful stuff. If you're into video tracking, you've also probably heard of him if you're clicking on this video. Ian Hubert. Ian Hubert will show you everything regarding video tracking. But yeah, back to Sime. He makes some really good um, tutorials on how to make assets, but also just asset packs that are very affordable and just look fantastic as PBR, even though they aren't 4K or anything. He literally just takes like Google images and like repurposes them into these really well made models. Anyway, uh, beyond that, if you're going for stuff to like complement him, look for Scene Filler on Patreon. I believe he's also on YouTube. He has a Patreon that's not really active anymore, but oh man, he has some just great city asset packs that fill scenes, as his name is wont to be. Yeah, if you're going for like city themed renderings and all that, that are um, another one for city-wise PBR on CG Trader. He might also be on Gumroad and ArtStation. Thibaut Billero. Again, I'm so sorry if I butcher these names. Anyway, Billero, he's a great 3D modeler. He makes some very affordable packs and just complete scenes. I've so far only bought a couple because again I'm very poor. I'm so sorry. Um, yeah, he makes some really good like PBR 3D models that are low polygon count means the geometry within the 3D modeling program you're going to be using is going to be lower, and so it's going to be less resource demanding, less expensive to your computer's hardware. But the textures will have higher resolution sort of detail baked into the final product, so it'll look better than the geometry count actually would insinuate. I'm saying insinuate too much. Anyway, yeah, those guys are really good. Just check them out. Kit bashing in general, it's very easy to get into. It's very hard to master, um, especially if you don't have, you know, the computer hardware to uh, handle it. But again, there are cloud computers and whatnot. But as I mentioned before, if you're going for like what I usually do, a sort of stylized PBR aspect, where I just use the compositor to create a sort of black and white image that how it gives the idea of a lot of detail and like a full active scene, but at the same time, you know, not like at the same time, you know, able to be used for my own purposes as sort of background footage. But in the but yeah, with kit bashing, that's the thing. In that the actual kit bash that you're producing is a sort of illusion. You're not like developing an entire little three-dimensional city as you would in like a video game engine, Unreal, Godot, Unity, whatnot. Um, Instead, you're merely presenting a sort of a film-friendly or digital painting-friendly render or animation to then, you know, pass on to a compositor, digital artist, or whatnot, or yourself.